Right, we're back here again. I've got the tractor in for our 24,000 mile service, and look what they're giving me for the day. The new R12 GS. This one's the Enduro one. It's beautiful white, red and blue paintwork. Love it. Looks amazing. This is the old 1250 air-cooled engine. Refined, heavily refined, but yeah, it'd be good to get back on this and see. That is a good looking bike. It's really nice, this. I've ridden the old R9T. I don't think I did a video on it, but I had the old R9T, and I wasn't that impressed with that one. But this, I mean, it looks mint, doesn't it? And the 719 package they do, that comes in this beautiful sort of desert brownish colour. It's lovely. It's not that chavvy green and gold. It's a really nice sort of brownishy colour, red sort of trim and stuff. Looks lovely. But yeah, this one. What can we tell you about this? 109 horsepower, 115 newton meters of torque, and it's meant as an off-roader. You know, it's got a lot of ground clearance there. I think it's something like 240 mil ground clearance. Although this is Enduro, it's not the Enduro Pro, so it's got the smaller 17-inch rear wheel. It's not got the 18. But you can see here, look at these forks. There's loads of play on there, fully adjustable. There's plenty of adjustment on the rear as well. Obviously, you've got compression there, preload there. Lovely. Now, this is supposed to be quite a tall bike, but the boys here said that this has got the lower seat on it for all you midgets out there, because this does actually. I was looking at the seat heights, and it's something like 890 mil is for the high setting, which even for me, I'll be on my tiptoes for that, I think. Well, let's see. Even though that's on the low setting, that's okay. I could get away with that, I think. Alright, let me sort this camera out. I would have. I haven't had my ready brake this morning. Come on. Stand by. Right, that's it. Got the cockpit all sorted out. Okay, so where are we going to go? I'm going to head towards the Devil's Punch Bowl, because the lads here have said there's some nice easy trails to do. And there's a wee calf there as well. So let's head there. So it's destination. I don't want this unwinding. I want it. Let's go no motorway. Okay, lovely job. We'll crack on with that. Let's see what this is like. Right, so this is keyless. I've got them in my pocket. Yeah, I do. They all look alright. Keyless, so keys in my pocket. Although you need the key to do the steering lock, apparently. Little dash there. Road mode, I mean, we'll do it for a bit, but, you know. Although this won't have dynamic, will it? Wow, that engine feels like agricultural compared to the 13. The whole bike shakes when you start it. Gearbox feels nice though, just in that initial change. Feels nice. I mean, it's typical BMW, isn't it? You know, it feels solid, it feels quality. Just the initial thoughts as you're getting on the bike here. It's weird, this 1250 engine, it just sounds like, it sounds meatier than the 13. I mean, the 13's got bags more power. Anyone that says they don't notice much difference, I just don't understand that, I really don't. It's noticeable from the get-go to me. 1250's no slouch, but it's not comparable to the 13. That's going to be a bit of a pain, that. The old sun shining on the display. Ultimate add-ons case, obviously. Use TeapotOne 10 for 10% off. Helps me out, and you get a little discount. Anyway, enough of that. Okay, let's see what it's going to be like on the faster Nationals. So this one has the comfort package, so it has full cruise control, heated grips, all the usual blurb you'd expect with BMW. It's not adaptive cruise control though. Not that, I mean, do you need that? It's a very nice luxury, but it's not essential, is it? Right, modes, what have we got here? So you've got road mode, you've got enduro, and you've got rain. Yep, that's all you've got. Yeah, I mean, it feels fine. There's a tiny little fly screen there, that's all. If you're going to be doing serious miles on big motorways or big dual carriageways, then I mean, are you going to buy a bike like this if that's your ultimate aim? The touring like that? Probably not. But you know, if you have to do those kind of roads in order to get to the twisties or a bit of the green lanes off-road, this will do it, of course it will. And I'm sure if you were that bothered, you could put a bigger screen on there if you wanted. What are we looking at for one of these? Well, these will start for the basic model, which nobody's going to buy, are they? Let's be real. I think it's about 14.5 grand. This one, as is, this is the Enduro. It's not Enduro Pro, I don't think. So it has the smaller 17-inch rear wheel. This one is sitting at around about 15.5 to 16 grand. I'll put the exact amount up on the screen just now. Are you turning right? No, okay. Quick shifter's lovely and smooth, although it doesn't feel as grunty as the 1300 engine. This 1250 is obviously the air-cooled one I was saying. This has been heavily refined by BMW over the years. It's lovely, positively silk-like compared to the 1300. Certainly my 1300. They do vary wildly, those 1300 gearboxes. I've ridden some and, you know, they've been beautiful. And indeed on mine, indeed. Here, look at me, 111 what? Yeah, and even on mine, I can get gear changes which are lovely, silky smooth. But others, I mean, it's like the old smashing two ball hammers together. Anyway, back to this, the R12GS. What's the actual riding experience like on this then? Well, it's lovely. It's very nice. I can feel that this is the slightly lower seat, but you know, it's still, I'm not scraping my arse along the ground by any stretch of the imagination. Personally, for me, 6'3", about a 32-inch inside leg, I would like at least the normal seat, not the low seat for this. Would have been nice to have tried the high one actually, just to see what that's like, but I think that's something like 890mm, which I think would even have me on my tiptoes, I'm not sure. Certainly if you're going to put the Enduro Pro package on with the larger 18-inch rear wheel, then obviously that's going to weak the seat height up more. Getting a little bit of numbness coming into my fingertips already. That's my own fault. I was looking ahead and not at the back of that van. But overall, it's a nice experience. I mean, this is not bereft of any technology, but it actually feels like a traditional motorbike. I don't feel like I'm riding a computer, which you do with a lot of the modern bikes. With the big GS, it does feel almost too refined. That's been a criticism of mine for a long time with the GS's. I still think they're the best overall of the big adventure bikes for what most of us use them for, but they're not as engaging as like the Ducatis and the KTMs. This, I feel like I'm riding a proper motorbike. Does that make sense? I mean, it's got all the gadgets and gizmos, but I feel like, oh, I should have done it right there. Too busy gassing. Okay, let's just come in here, do a little U-ey. Gravel on the road there, we'll just take it nice and easy. Okay, so into slightly smaller country lanes. Ah, and it's a 40, obviously. Yeah, it's a firm ride, but not spine-shatteringly firm. It's nice. The bike feels really agile, almost flickable. Yeah, feels nice. I like it. I think I might like it a lot. Oh, I don't actually know how much fuel I've got. There's no fuel gauge on this. so you're back to the days of shaking the tank or having a little look in there to see what you've got. But I know with the 1250 engine, when that fuel light comes on, you know, you've got a good 35-40 miles. So certainly here in the UK, there's no dramas there. I think I would like a dynamic package in this, like a Dynamic Pro package in this. And the engine just feels like I know what this 1250 engine can do, and it just feels slightly subdued because it's in that road mode. For road riding, I just want to knock it up a notch. Now, I don't know if you can get a dynamic package or dynamic mode in maybe the standard or the 719 edition. I'll pop up on the screen now if you can. Oops, 40, and went to the Nationals. So back at the second, hold 40, check the mirrors, Nationals. Obviously, more than enough poke, more than enough power. It's just me being, it's me just wanting a little bit more. It doesn't need it. It definitely doesn't need it. So sweeping right, tightening up on the exit. Just here. That's fine. I know what it is. This isn't telelever, is it? It's traditional suspension. That's why it feels slightly different. It certainly doesn't duck and dive under braking, but it's not like normal GS's with the telelever, the whole bike will sink. Whereas this, there is definitely a little bit of a nudge forward, but absolutely nothing dramatic, nothing to worry about. Just rides that slight bit different. It's lovely in these bends. You know, I'm sat at national speeds there, let's do some braking. Yeah, so there's a slight dive, but it's nothing dramatic. It's nice, suspension feels lovely actually. I was just wanting to show you what the suspension was like at, you know, national speeds on the bumpier back roads. It's fine, absolutely fine. As you'd expect. You know, this bike is tailored more for the off-road anyway, but I just wanted to see if maybe it was a bit wallowy, but it's not at all. It's really nice suspension. Cool, this is lovely out here, isn't it? These drums are beautiful. Sorry, don't you know? I think we're sorry anyway. It's all Porsches and Teslas. Minted, minted. That's something I wanted to say, the gearing. The gearing definitely feels a bit sort of longer, taller on this. In that on my big 1250 GS or the 1300 GS, you can comfortably go around a bend like that in third, whereas this you're having to change down to second. First and second definitely, well, first definitely feels a lot longer. I'm in third most of the time, even at nationals. I'm sort of just in third, occasionally going up to fourth. And back into a 30. Okay, let's do this in third. We're at 30 mile an hour. Yeah, it'll do that, but the tighter one back there, I had to drop it to second. I'm pretty sure the big GS's will just trundle round in third. This feels like it's got a 21-inch front wheel, has it? Has it got a 21-inch front wheel? These brakes are lovely. Absolutely do the job. This is something I noticed. You know, when I sat stationary, look how much the bike vibrates. I don't notice that on the 13. I think the 1250, big 1250 GS used to do it, and the R90, that was the same. But I quite like that. I quite like it. I quite like the sort of agriculturalness of these big engines. I don't like the rattle of the 1300, that's terrible. But this is nice, I like it. Well, from what I've noticed so far, folks, on the slow speed stuff, the clutch feels nice, it's not too heavy, it engages fine, it's nice and smooth, it's not clunky at all. First gear's absolutely fine, it's not snatchy at all. Bike's lovely and balanced. I mean, if you ride the big GS's, you'll know what this big boxer engine's like. Absolutely fine, no problems at all for town riding. I think it's one of those things, if you get intimidated by a bike, then yeah, you're not going to be relaxed. You're probably not going to be balanced very well on the bike. That's maybe where you have issues, but if you're relaxed on the bike, it's a lovely engine. No problems at all for the town. Right, just coming up to the Devil's Punch Bowl, and it's about the right time, to be honest. I've been on the bike for just over an hour, and my bum's feeling it, I've got to say. Seat felt lovely to begin with, but just in the last 5 minutes or so, you know that feeling where it feels like you've been smashed in the backside, and not in a public school way, but you know, you've just been sat on your arse for too long. Well, that's how I'm starting to feel now. Right, gonna grab a cup of splosh up here somewhere, and then there's a trail right there which we can do. So we'll try that, see what the off-road is like. This one here. So let's have a look. So you can see there, look, it's a proper designated unsuitable for motor vehicles, but it is allowed, see? So if we whack this in enduro mode, that's us in enduro, and off we jolly well. I'm not going to spank it long here because you get people out walking their dogs, horses, all sorts. So just take it easy. So where is the trail? Well, I mean, this definitely said motor vehicles are allowed. So this is the byway that I've been told about. Come on. I never thought I would say this, but where's the dirt? I've got to admit, this is slightly disappointing. Thank you. Cheers. This is better than some roads in Kent. Thank you. Well, it's a lovely ride so far, folks. Ah, there we go. Okay, so there we are. Bit of trail riding now. So I've just got her in second, stood up. There we go. In fact, I'll just whack this back into first. Okay. You got to remember, this is not my bike, so I do not want to be dropping this anywhere. That suspension's lovely, and this first gear, this is probably why first gear is a little bit taller on this, because you can just sit this in first gear and it's, you know, it's just chewing up everything and anything in its way. Now I appreciate this is not Dakar, I know that, folks, but it's also going to be a lot bumpier than it looks on camera. Which one's which? Public byway, okay. Does that mean I can go up here? Well, this is a public byway. No unauthorised motor vehicles. Okay, let's try this one. Well, there definitely is motor vehicles come down here. A little bit of mud. Lovely job. Oh, am I going to get myself into all manner of poo here? What could go wrong, folks? Yeah, again, just sat in first gear and it's nice and long. But this is fun and games in the proper wet. This is probably where fish comes. Now, I have no idea where this takes me. I've been told if I'm on the right road, it eventually just drops you onto a road. Yeah, but so far, I mean, it's a lovely ride. It's very smooth. Suspension is just soaking everything up, no problem at all. I'm literally just in first gear and it's just cruising along, nice speed. First gear is quite nice because you can roll off the throttle and just use the engine to slow you rather than grabbing any brakes. Alright, we've got some people up ahead. They've got a dog with them. Alright, I'll sit down. I don't want to rush up on these folk. Thank you, cheers. Right, where do we go here? Which one is which? Okay, lovely job. I mean, that was genuinely absolutely fine, folks. That was fairly rocky in places. Appreciating that we're not in the like thick, deep mud or anything like that, but it's certainly not tarmac. Let's just go slow by this horse. Thank you. Cheers. Now, I've seen from the press shots, you know, this thing's more than capable off-road. People have been properly spanking this off-road. I'm not, because I don't have that ability or inclination. Oh, I had visions of going all Adam rhyming on this, you know, and getting all the ride-by shots. But you know what, that's just so much bloody grief. And I don't have my tripod with me. Idiot. Brought everything else and forgot that. God, someone lives up there. Wow, this is their driveway. They've definitely got a rangy, definitely. So this must take us to a road, which it does. Right then, folks, that was your off-road. Yeah, that was, I mean, it was absolutely fine, folks. The bike just eats any of that. This is definitely harping back to the old early GS Dakar days. You can see that from the design, you know, just by the paint job on it, to be honest. But even by the physical design of the bike, it's definitely what's the word? Homage. It's definitely paying a little homage, a wee nod back to that origin story, and it's good. I'm enjoying being on this bike. I want to pop the drone up and just get some drone footage of me sat on the bike, so you can actually see. You know, I'm 6'3", 20 stone, and this is what I look. Actually, I'm about 20 and a half stone. Lost a little bit of timber. Okay, sync them up, 1, 2, 3. Right, let's have a little look where we are. So, pause. Right, this is what I like about Cali. When you set it to show like all your historical rides, you can see where you've not been. So we're there. We'll just come down that trail there. What time is it? 11:45. We'll need to start heading back-ish. What about all out here? What's all this like? Let's have a little look there. Right, let's try and go down this road, whatever this is. So we set that as a via. Set as a via. Boom. Yeah, that's quite a nice route. I like that. That'll do. It's only 20 miles. Bosh. Okay, happy days. Let's do it. I do like keyless bikes. And people do like to have a moan about keyless bikes. Now, you know me, folks. I'm all for moans. I do like a good moan. But keyless, proper keyless, where everything's keyless, I do like. Now, I said before, you have to use the key to turn on the steering lock on this bike. Well, I tried it there at the calf, and it didn't work. It wouldn't work. And then I noticed that on the power button, it's got a padlock, which on my 1250 and the 1300 GS, and other bikes from BMW that I've ridden, you just push and hold that, and that activates the steering lock, but it didn't do it on this one. So I have no idea how you activate the steering lock on this bike. Oh, I'm still in enduro mode. Let's whack that. Not rain. I'll go to road, but I will not test a bike in rain road. Yeah, I'm enjoying this, folks. As the miles tick by and I spend more time on the bike, you just get more and more comfortable with it. I've said this before, if you ever go out and you test ride a bike, especially if you've got it for, you know, a day or at least a few hours, stop, get off the bike, go and have a cup of splosh, do something where you're not riding the bike, you're not sat on it, you're not looking at it. Have a little break, even if it's 20 minutes. Come back to the bike and then ride it again. It's amazing how many times your feelings and thoughts on a bike change when you've had even just a small break in between riding sessions. Yeah, you know what I was saying about the gearing earlier, of how it feels. It was great for off-road, you know, first gear could, you know, you quite comfortably sit 25, 30 odd mile an hour and just let the first gear pull you through everything and slow you down, no problems on those little trails that we just did. But I do find I'm used to the big GS engines all that fun being 4,000 to 6,000 sort of revs, and that really in second, third gear, that being sort of around the 30 to 60, 70 mile an hour mark. What I'm finding with this is that the bike doesn't feel like it's coming alive, certainly in third gear. It's not coming alive till you hit that sort of 5,500, 6,000 mile mark, but by then you're already up into sort of like 70 plus. So yeah, I mean, no problem, but the GS is probably the bigger GS, the same engine, it's a 1250 engine, but do you know what I mean? The traditional style of boxer engine is probably a bit more fun and usable in terms of legal speeds. This, you're having to up the speed a little bit because you're having to push the revs up a little bit more, and because of that gearing, it means you're going only maybe 15 mile an hour quicker, 10, 15 mile an hour quicker. That's all we're talking about. Just something I've noticed, you know, when the bike starts to feel like it's a bit of fun and coming alive, I'm looking down and we're sort of north of 65 into 70s. Obviously on the open roads, obviously. But this suspension is nice. You know, it's just soaking everything up. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like wallopy, soft and wallopy. And obviously it's fully adjustable. You can adjust your preload and compression at the front. You can do the same in the rear shock. Oh, we've even done a water crossing now. Gee whiz, we've done everything. This is a full comprehensive review, people. Just need to do track now. Nationals! Nice pickup in third from the 40. Still plenty of poke if you need it. You don't need to change down. Wasn't sure if that was grit and gravel. This thing obviously it has full traction control, ABS, and then obviously once you whack it into enduro mode, it turns off ABS. I think Enduro Pro you can turn off traction completely. I think I can't remember. I'll whack it up on the screen now. I'm running very low on battery on my phone as well. Now this does have, it's got traditional USB and then it's got the DIN socket there, but guess what? I don't have the USB to USB-C cable for my phone. I've only got USB-C to USB-C, but it's alright because I've got two battery packs with me. But guess what? They're both out of juice. I charged them up for the Portugal tour a couple of weeks ago, well 3 weeks ago, and they've both gone flat in the time I've been at home. It's weird, some battery packs seem to hold the charge for quite a long time, and others just don't. It's just gone within like a week. What is it about proper planning and all that? I charged everything else up, I just forgot about them. I said earlier that I was feeling a bit of vibes. You know, my fingertips were going numb. Not much more came of that, to be honest with you. I haven't noticed it since, and my hands feel fine at the moment. But yeah, for the more dynamic sort of riding, this is lovely. Even with a 21-inch front wheel, it still feels unmistakably GS-like. Love it. This bike just feels like it's going to go through anything. Over or through anything. But certainly a different feel to the traditional GS tractors, you know, in terms of handling and even moving it around off the bike. It just has a different feel to it, but familiar, if that makes sense. Oh, fuel cap. I was having a little look there. You know, I always said this is keyless. Well, it is, but you need the key to open the fuel tank. Boo! Why, BMW? Why? Well, I know why actually. I think because this is quite a small tank. I think this is only something like 15.5 litres. So I'd imagine that putting in the keyless mechanism in there, that would reduce, it would either reduce the tank capacity or you'd have to make the tank slightly bigger. So Beamer's gone with that size fuel tank. There they are. Nationals!
See what I mean? That wasn't even 5,500 revs yet, and she was just starting to pull. Just starting to pull at the leash a little bit. It's just geared slightly different to what you'd be used to. Really handy for that little bit of trail that we did, for sure. I mean, you know, at the speeds I was going, first gear was all you needed there. I just thought, have I mentioned this screen at all? The little LCD screen there. I actually quite like it. You can get the traditional analog style dash. I think you pay a little bit extra. I can't remember how much it is. I think it's something like 50 quid, 100 quid, and you get that LCD dash. I like it. It's got all the info you need there. Accessible by the usual sort of BMW buttons. Slight difference here on the left thumb, but you know, it does exactly the same job as the ones on the other models of GS's do. It's just labelled slightly different. Your modes and everything is traditionally, it's over here on the right as usual. Heated grips is accessible via a heated grip button. None of that sub-menu rubbish that you have on the 1300. Yeah, it's good. I really like it. I just wish it had at least a fuel gauge or something. That would be great. But yeah, no complaints from me. Oh, something I really do like is the rear lighting arrangement, the rear light cluster. I mean, the arse of this bike looks lovely anyway. They've done a really nice job there, the stylers, designers. But the lights, the indicators are separate from the brake light. Thank you, baby Jesus. They've not done the integrated bollocks which they've gone for on all the new bigger models, which is just downright dangerous in my opinion, but who am I? Most people I know get the visor dongle. It's one of the first things I did. Got that, put that into the back of the bike, got it through Steve up at a bike thing, and that separates the indicators from the daylight running lights. Much better. Anyway, you don't need to do that with this. Looks good. And I like the front headlight styling on this as well. It's kept that new X sort of shape from the 1300s, and it's given a little bit of a sort of retro vibe to it. I like it. I really like the design of this bike. I think they've done a great job. Nationals, helmet cam, cockpit cam, sync about 1, 2, 3. Well, that's slightly alarming. The fuel light has literally just come on, but it just shows 0 miles. I'm assuming it's like the other 1250s, that when that came up you had sort of 30-40 miles in the range. However, thinking about it, this is only a 15 and a bit litre tank, isn't it? So maybe they don't give you as much leeway. Okay, future me here. Yes, you know how it said 0 miles was the range when the fuel light came on? It actually just, it's now saying 8, so it obviously counts to say how many miles in the reserve that you're doing. That makes sense. That's common sense, not what I thought. Okay, back to me talking poo. Yeah, I get the odd comment about, oh, another BMW when I do any review or first ride vids. Listen, I don't do the launches, I don't do those sorts of things. None of the manufacturers get in touch with me anymore, other than occasionally KTM. KTM have been trying to get me out on their new fleet, which I'd love to take them up on the offer of. But you know, I'm away pretty much constantly. Every 3 weeks or so I'm away on tours. And it's not really, Ducati let me have one of theirs last year, but the others seem to be quite hesitant about, you know, letting me take their press bikes abroad. So the only time I really get to do any sort of reviews is when my tractor's going in for a service, and obviously that's at BMW. And Group 1 are great to me. You know, they let me take out any bike I like as long as they've got it. So, you know, they're fantastic to me, so I'm going to use them all the time. That's why I'm not in the pocket of BMW, anything but that. They don't really like me that much, I don't think, because I've not been particularly favourable about a couple of bikes, but, you know, as I said to you, I'll always say exactly what I think. I don't ever want to be in the pocket of anybody. I'll always speak my mind. Like it or lump it. Okay, we're nearly home. We're nearly back there. So what am I thinking then of the 2025 BMW R12 GS? I like it. Would I have one over my traditional 1300 GS or 1250 GS? Not for what I need a bike for. You know, obviously I do a lot of touring, some big miles. I like the road presence, the comfort, everything that goes with the big adventure bikes. That said, I do like the look of this bike, and if you want to be doing, you know, the trail riding type stuff, I can't comment what it's like on the proper technical stuff, but on that light sort of stuff I've done today, this thing was just, it was a breeze, it was a joy. Never thought I would say that, but yeah, no problem at all. Like the sort of more technical stuff I've done in Morocco on the big 1250 GS's, I would happily do on this. I think this would cope really well with that, you know, and that was fairly technical off-roading that we did there. And for road riding, it's lovely, yeah, absolutely lovely. Even with this 21-inch front wheel, the handling's still beautiful. The bike itself, plenty of performance, plenty of grunt. What's it sort of... Fucking arseholes. Look at these idiots. Look at them. Oh, you wonder why we get bad reps. Twats like that. Never follow your mates through, folks. Just... I've seen things go wrong many times, and horrifically wrong as well. People follow through on overtakes. Ride your own ride. Just because your mates get through up ahead doesn't mean to say you will, so just do your thing. Like we said, we're all individuals, but try not to be a tit. Anyway, back to this bike. That's our price bracket of say 14.5 to 16 grand. It's by no means cheap, but this does feel like a quality machine. Build quality just feels top notch, as you'd expect. I think the looks are great, the attention to detail is high too. The designers they've obviously spent some time picking out the finer details of the design on this bike, and it looks lovely, you know, from that front mud guard, the tail end of the bike, the little badges here and there, even that little fly screen at the front. You know, I think this bike looks really good. One of the best looking bikes BMW do, I think, in my own opinion. Yeah, 100%. If you want to be just that little bit different from the rest of the GS crowd, this could be right up your alley. As I always say, folks, don't just go by my input on this. Chuck your leg over one, take one for a spin, see what you think yourself. Right, I'm done. I need to find fuel and a battery for my phone ASAP. Massive shout out to Group 1 in Brighton for loaning me the bike. Make sure you check them out if you're down this way. Give them a follow on the socials as well. And I hope you've enjoyed this vid, folks. Let me know your thoughts. If you've ridden one of these, if you own one of these, let me know in the comments down below what you think. Keep doing your thing. Get on out there whenever you can. Look after those that you love. But most importantly, live your life. Woo-ha! Okay, you can see I've got 13 miles on the range there. So I've got to turn the bike off. Get the keys out. Right, let's see how much we get in this. I think it's a 15.5 litre tank, I think. Oh, it's one of those bloody annoying tanks, look, you can't put the nozzle right in. I moan a lot now, don't I? I think I do. I'm definitely becoming Victor Meldrew. I don't believe it. Right, we're going to brim it. Right, that is up to the brim. Okay. And how much did we get in? Oh, 11.6, that's not too bad. So there was still a long way to go there if that is a 15.5 litre tank. Right. Why is that not plugging in? Well, tell me it's USB-C. That's going to be bloody typical if that is USB-C. It is. It's USB-C, not USB. Oh, so I could have used this all along. That is typical of me. To assume is to make an ass out of you and me. Oh well, we know now. I do these things so you don't. So that is a USB-C charger. Oh well, I've got another USB to USB-C cable then. Every day's a school day, folks, remember that.